stream. My name is Lee. It is 1:53, so we're a little behind schedule, but I also made pickles this morning, so, you know, like, I did that right before stream, so I think we're doing okay on time. I haven't actually had food, but I can have a snack during stream. What we're gonna do is... Actually, I'm gonna make... That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make a sandwich, but after... Okay. Here we go. I think we're solid. Let us start our stream. Welcome, welcome. My name is Lee. I am... as usual, your host. Let's see. I'm wearing my Antiford shirt today, but I don't think we're going to do Antiford today. We're going to do Cyberpunk Red. So, for those of you unfamiliar with the channel, basically I have a large collection of TTRPGs that I have gathered from a number of sources, including presents from friends, shared with friends, stuff I've bought, stuff I've gotten Humble Bundles, stuff I've backed on Kickstarter, just stuff I've backed on itch.io times. Basically, gajillion files of TTRPGs that I never get a chance to look at, so what I've been doing is randomly going through occasionally and looking at stuff. Cyberpunk Red today is because I am running a game of Cyberpunk Red at a convention in October, and I have yet to create anything. Now, here's where I've been thinking. Do I actually want to create backstory for these characters? Do I want to ignore the life path temporarily, or at least ignore the... that's an option. So, I basically had been toying with the idea that they'd all been from some... I was going to think either Germany or Ukraine, somewhere, a subsidiary of that got bombed during the corporate wars, and a subsidiary of, what's the one? The big corp. One of the bigger corps. And basically they had been... The plant had been bombed. There were a lot of technicians there, and these were all the kids of technicians. Anyone who lost family members had... Anyone who was between the ages of, like, 16 and 25 who lost a family member could apply for an eligible scholarship, like a grant to go and intern in Night City, as a sort of compensation package deal. The only kind of thing is they didn't read the fine print, and the fine print did not include provisions for going back. So basically all of these guys were just stuck with no official job offers, no guaranteed job offer, and no money, and no trip home, and there were, visa issues, and so a lot of them got stuck in Night City, which sucks, because you got screwed over the courts, and you got, the corpos, and you got stuck in Night City, and then, they've lived a couple decades of lives after that, doing this, that, and the other thing, and, essentially, I'd have to time it out, but they were basically just, had, lived varied lives, but had still kept in touch as a loose affiliation of fellow program survivors, and they are basically building themselves up into a crew. I have one... my plan was to build one fixer, and then if no one chooses the fixer, I'm going to do one of each class, essentially. Here, I'm going to bring up the playbooks, and the books. That's for Powered by the Apocalypse. I'm going to bring up the... downloads. No, it's not in that one. It's in... blah, 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 blah. Okay. Downloads. I think somewhere in the seas. Okay. Finding stuff can be a little tricky. I have a lot of, CPR. Here we go. Core book. Beautiful. Cyberpunk Red. Lovely. And I think I have my... Yes. So why don't we move this down? I had to redo the computer again because of reasons. So, essentially every once in a while, there we go. That should work. And then we just kind of scooch it over. Where's that? Oh, that's just the... Why is the margin like... Okay, move this to here, I guess. Alright, that's about as good as we're gonna get for now. Okay, so... Let's scooch this over a little. Yeah. Okay, so... This is, the Cyberpunk Red core rulebook. And it is... Yeah, I got my copy, and we are doing Cyberpunk Red. Okay, let me check on the ad sitch. Okay, so basically what if you have ads, which I do, I appreciate you sitting through them. It helps me, helps the channel a lot. Um, builds up surprisingly amount of revenue, and it's actually helping me a bunch. It's really helpful to get the occasional Twitch payout to supplement rent and things, so I appreciate it. And upgrading equipment is also expensive, so. And this Logitech is kind of on its last legs. It's gonna die any day now, so I'm gonna have to buy a replacement. And anyway, you guys are awesome. So ad starts in 30 seconds, essentially. So what I'm gonna do, okay, I have to bring up the other thing I'm bringing up is the Word document that I've been using to do character creation, essentially. Come on. Okay, fine. What's, okay. Basically, LibreOffice wants to auto-update. Okay, well, that'll mostly happen in the ad break anyway. So I'm going to show you what I have for... I may or may not take the life path part out. So I was thinking Eastern Europe. I ended up rolling randomly, got South Africa, and then I might just take it out altogether. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to finish creating this character with the full life path, at least. Alright, see you at the end of the ad break. Let me just... enjoy the cutie pie. Whoa. Hang on. How long have we been? Alright, I am sorry that took so long. I am so sorry. Let me just... Hi, everyone. Welcome back. And, oh, hey. That's interesting. I did not realize it was going to do that. Alright, well, this is my, thing. I ain't particularly ugly in there. Let's do it. Come on. That should work. Yeah, okay. Now I just have to freaking every dang time. So basically, it defaults to... Yep. Okay. You notice I have 65% zoom and large font. That is specifically because of how Twitch works. Or rather, how OBS works. I made myself a sandwich. I mean, so I hope you guys don't mind. Also, hydrate. Like, if you need snacks or hydration, you know, this is important. This is, food. Don't forget to eat. I know it sounds silly but I know a lot of people forget to eat, and it's just okay. Well, anyway, so this is my rocker boy so far. Her name, she is woman and she is straight, but I don't know, or at least this. I have a roll table I use, um, for, that, and, so I basically rolled for her ethnicity, more or less. Well, I rolled what part of the world and got Sub-Saharan Africa, and South Africa is the one I feel most confident about using. Just because as a white girl with white guy, ex-white girl, I should say. I'm not a woman, but ex-white girl. Yeah, ex-white girl with white boy now. Oh shit, I'm a white boy. Yeah, I do not want to fuck around too much with countries I don't know too much about, but you know, I also want to say I'm not gonna shy away from. It's a balance of that. So all right, well, South Africa. Um, all right. So, all right. Urban Flash style, short curly hair. The um, our affectations. We rolled for all of this. Um, um, um. We had a whole list of these guys, and um, yeah, we had a whole and then we did a lot of the background stuff. We put in our own because I want to have everyone have a shared backstory, shared trauma as a connecting point. Um, but a lot of stuff like roll for friends and enemies. I rolled for friends and enemies. Um, so we did that. We also have a niche influencer who's kind of an asshole. Um, and is waging a hate campaign against them because of course they do. Okay, let me. Of course she does, rather. Um, I might mix the exact specific. Um, I don't know. Um, we'll see. Let me do this. We will go. Um, I might ditch the exact. Oh, maybe I'll just ditch mixed race nature. They come from in South Africa, and South Africa is a plethora enough of a because of the specific um colonization history has enough variance that people can kind of project what they want to onto their characters, which is a big thing if you're doing a con game. You know what I mean? That might be a thought. Okay. I'm doing that too much. Okay, let's try to bring them down. Let me go back to the life path one. So we're doing a kind of mid-level. Instead of doing nitty-gritty on character creation, we're kind of doing the mid-level one. Let's see. Statistics. Follow Towers, getting it done. From the Red, Welcome to my City, Everyday Life. There is a character creation section I'm missing. Mm. Um. Um. Okay. Um. 3 minutes of main character. Okay, 40. Right. Yep. So 40 was the character creation, and okay, let's go here. See page. Okay, here we go. I see how it goes. All right, pick a role. Run your life path. That's what we were doing. Roll your stats. Edge runner or street rat. So edge runner's fat. Street rat is just copy paste templates. Edge runner's fast and dirty. Um, which because I have to make um um 10 of these pre-gens and for a con game, and because my knowledge of the system is kind of limited, I'm working on it. we are going to run. I might need to practice run. Okay, first thing we've been going through. So I've been creating this character. She's a rocker boy. She's a vibe. She does little skits. She doesn't even do music. She does YouTube skits, basically. YouTube shorts. That is like performance artist. And we roll to see what kind of art form it's YouTube skits, and I'm like, you know what? Yes. And she's the text background. She's not even usually in them. And I think that fits because we said shy personality, and that it's either a high persona or she does 90% of the tech work behind the scenes to make the editing and the splice dice edits, stuff like that. That's her skill set. And she's really good at video editing and doing cool effects and stuff. And they do like these little stupid little politics skits that mock the corpse. It's great. It's a interesting one. No, you don't have to make her a musician. Although there isn't, she does do music. She plays stuff, and she does appreciate musicians, but probably someone like, I kind of want to make her personal hero Tom Lehrer because I miss him, or I, admire his work, and he died recently. May he rest in peace. But I just neither here nor there. Okay, so influencer, right? She's an influencer. Okay, trying to bring her down. Okay, so skills, pick a role. Okay, page 20. Life path, by statistics. Okay. Package, street rat, or edge runner. Okay. Run life path. So 43. Oh, life. That's why this is the life path. And then did we get everyone in the role specific life path? That's the important one. Background. We got all the generic life path, and then we did a specific rocker boy. Yeah, and then we got performance artist, and then we kind of went with like, okay, let's play with something here. And then it said they used the hollows, and I'm like, okay, this is what. Um, yeah, and then we did gunning for you. We have a rival, and then we had alternative club CD bars on the data pool. Yeah, we said where do we perform data pool, and I'm like, oh, okay. So performance art on data pool is YouTube Shorts essentially. Well, futuristic cyberpunk version, and you kind of have to like dig through a little bit. But that is pretty much how it goes, which is kind of cool. It is an art form. All right. Were you once in a group? Yes. And then I had a bunch of roommates, and we rolled for friends. We rolled like siblings, and I'm like, oh, they have this little chosen family little group that gets together, and then they had one who ditched. Okay. One of them who was, I think we had one ex-lover who's in prison, so that's a fun little. Okay, solo. Okay, that is for the other life path. Okay, so we have that. So I think that's Rockaway. Now we do stats next. Let's go back to our little. Okay, so run life path. Yes. Role-based life path. We did that. So we finished that. Okay. We are getting into the vibes of things. Oh shoot! I didn't do the thing. So if you okay. I'm da, 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 da. Um yes, and then I forgot to tell everyone I was streaming. Usually right before stream what I do is okay, not before stream. It's part of the setup of okay. Bob. Okay, let's put the Bob in the Bob. Okay, there's that. So Cyberpunk, and then let me do one other thing. Okay, so yes, I realized that I forgot to do that. Those of you who rarely watch the streams, watch my streams. I can talk. I'm a professional at this. Um, Um, uh, uh, so those of you who are familiar with the streams know that this always happens. I end up, if you put periods instead of commas in web addresses, they tend to work better. That is a life lesson. But what I was going to say was, if you um, uh, so we're gonna do edge runner stats. Oh, I also I did it again. I keep doing a comma for the first dot, and that does not help. www comma does not do anything for links. Okay. And then I also have to mute this, because otherwise it's going to beep, and you guys are going to be subjected to that, and then Sigil yell at me, "Hi! Hello, hello, and welcome on in. You are our first one in chat." Newton, good friend. Um, Very silly to choose the devil, because he is, like, the least devilish person ever. So, let's see. Influencer, right. So we have our rocker boy. She's, doing vibes. She has an ex who's in prison. Um, yeah, we've rolled through a life path. And let us go. Okay. Alright, so why did I go down to there? No, we go back to up here. Okay, so Street Rat roll stats 73. Okay, so for Street Rat, um, Edge Runner, right? We're Edge Runner. Yes, we're Edge Runner. So 73 is Edge Runner stats. And then drive statistics and calculating them. Okay, so that's the meat and potatoes of how to do this. So stat blocks. Let's scooch this out a little bit so you can see a little better. Okay, that should work, right? Oh, yes, let me bring it up. So, essentially... Okay, no, what we really do is put this right on top of that. And then we can go like this. Beautiful. And that... Okay, so this is how we toggle. This is a tricky thing of working in booth streams, so you have multiple things, is I need to toggle. I can't show them all without making them very small on your screen. So what I'm doing is toggling between to try and get you, give you guys the gist of what we're doing. Okay, so Street Rats' template. Um, um, Roll d10 and then copy the numbers adjacent result of that. Roll into character sheet. You may not move your stats around. You must transfer them in a table for the roll. The good news is that these tables have been computer generated to give you an optimal character type roll. Okay. Fast and dirty. Edge runner. Okay. Roll d10 for each stat, comparing the roll for stat against the values on the column for that stat. So you go to roll and you get a. I see. Okay. Cool. We're rolling d10s for this. Alright, so we're gonna roll. Okay, so our stats are. Let me do int ref dex tech cool. Alright, so let me put this out. So, let's see if we can. Let's see if we can make a graph happen. Let us insert table is 2 by 5. 2 by 5 table. We're gonna try fancy formatting thing. 2 by 5. Or 5 by 2. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna write int ref. Okay, so then we actually made it. We made a thing. Int, and then reflex. Will. This is basic, but like, I'm very pleased with myself for this. Int ref will. What else we got? Oh, I'll show you the table, and as soon as I finish copying them down. Int ref. Oh, dex tech cool. Dex tech and cool. Sorry. Dex tech and cool. Then will, luck, move. So will. Luck is, oh yeah, luck is a fun one. It has a Call of Cthulhu-esque vibes of move, body, empathy. Move. And then body, and then just empathy. Okay, so cool. So we're gonna do that. Now we go down to the next page, and okay. So using this, roll d10 for the number. So right, solo, netrunner, rocker boy. Here we go. We're going in order. So rocker boy. Let me get a d10. We will use this one. The dice I use are for rolling on this are whichever dice happen to be in my dice tray. I have a lot of dice that I have accrued over the decades. Actually, it has been decades. Oh, you're right, because I mean, I got my first set when I was in college, and I was, yeah, it's been decades. Okay, so not a full 2 decades, but over one. So yeah, it's been over 10 years. So I can almost say decades. At this point, yeah. I got my, well, no, I got my first set was 20. Yeah, no, not quite decades yet, but um, getting there. Definitely more. So I'm gonna start with this anyway. I've accrued over the many years I've been playing TTRPGs a number of dice. I go through periods where I buy a lot, the periods where I try not to buy too many dice because I already have a lot. I do almost inevitably procure some shiny click clack math rocks whenever I go, but I try not to procure too many because procuring too many it causes problems. I have my main dice hoard is at my parents' house, and so I can't even get to my main hoard, but I do have a few. So let's take this one. I think is a good one, and we'll put these back in the dice tray. Okay, so I have a few that I brought over here for various reasons. One dice, D10. Okay, so I got this D10, this D10. Let's do this D10. Ready? Let us roll. That is a 6. Oh, nope. Stop it. Sorry, my computer's being stupid. That's a 6. So we're going stat by stat. So if Rocket Boy intelligence with a 6 gives us 5. So there's that 5 intelligence, not particularly dumb. Let's see. 5. For will reflex. Okay. Intelligence reflex 3 gives us 5 reflex. Lower end of what the Rocker Boys have, but better overall. So, okay, let's go with Dex. Yep. Dex is. That's cocked. 8. Dex is 8. So that's a 7. Okay, we're pretty good on Dex. So that's pretty good. That's 7. Tech is 8 is tech would be 8. That gives us tech is 5. All right, not great on the tech front. We'll put a pin in that. Let's go with 5. We'll put a pin in that. We might be able to rework that a little. 9 is for cool is a 7 in the cool department. All right. Move it up in the world. Okay, cool. Let's go with will. Is a I'm alternating between these two. Is a 10. Okay. That would be will is 8. It's a pretty high one. Okay. Will being 8. Oh. Luck is lucky. Actually, don't roll up 3. Okay. 7. Okay, that's the highest it goes on this card. So I guess that is lucky. Excellent. Move. But we're switching up this one. That is a 7. Okay. Move for 7 is 6. Okay. 6. body is 2, which puts us at, you guys can see the chart, right? I have that displayed. Yes. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely, I'm running a Cyberpunk Red. I might need you to playtest for me, actually, given that I might need to, like, have a little experience running a scene or two before I go in at first, because I've done that with game, and it did, I mean, it was a simple game, so, but for something this complex, I probably should try and run one first, just to get a feel for it. But yes, these are, let's see. Body is, what is our body? Did we roll for that? Yes, we did. That was a 5. Okay. 5 for body. Empathy. We're rolling for empathy. 1 is 8 empathy, so that's actually pretty high. Okay. 8 empathy, and we'll put it in our chart. Yeesh. Okay, so hit save. Always save. Your work. Alright, so that's our stats for now, and then um um oh, instead yeah, you just roll once and take the whole line, or you roll each time and alright, yep, okay, same. Um 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 yeah, so swap. Derive statistics. Okay, hit points and humanity. Okay. So hit points and humanity. So let me show you what I got. Let's see, because I want to do. Oh right, I want to show you what I've got. So this is what I did for the stats. Yep. So I made a little table. I guess we put hit points and humanity down below. Yeah, I'll put hit points and humanity down below. Okay. And then we can tinker with the formatting later. HP, humanity is, so hit points and humanity. So let's see. Hit points are, no, maybe we move this down. Okay, so life path, humanity, HP. What is our hit points for this character? Humanity is empathy, human. Okay. 10 points humanity, 5 empathy. How much humanity? Okay, so 10 times, and there goes humanity loss, installing cybernetics. They lose points humanity. Lose humanity. Okay, yeah, if your humanity goes down too far, you start losing empathy. 40 humanity, have empathy 4. Okay, and then if you lower your humanity down, you get a, yes, and if you want to raise your humanity, you have to have therapy, which is kind of a boost to how do you balance out cybernetics draining your humanity is you get therapy. Okay, so empathy is 6, 7, 6, 10. Okay, so empathy is, what's our emp? So we could, hypothetically tweaking would mean moving a point from one of these to a point in another. Okay, so humanity is 80. Good high humanity. And hit points are derived from, let me bop this down so you guys can see this again. That's humanity. Hit points are, um, body and will. Okay, so body, there's a, um, 5 times body and will averaged rounding up. So 10 plus 5 times body and will. Okay, so body and will averaged is body 5, will 8. That's 10. 13. So rounding up. So average, that would be 7, which would be 70, right? So body is body 5, will 8. So it would be 17. Okay. 5 times. No, so 5 times 7 is 35, so 45, right? 45. I did the math right. Okay, cool. So that's 45. Check the table. So 45 hit points. 80 humanity. Okay, solidly built. So we can tinker with this a little bit by tweaking one. I could bring the cooldown to 6 and bring the tech up to 6. That's a way to do it. I mean, I could just let it slide and let the yeah, I'm gonna let the dice say where they will. Not gonna tweak too much. Okay, so fitted for the future. Although, if you did that, if you allowed essentially someone to roll Edge Runner and then let them swap stats, you would essentially be doing like like dice assisted point buy. Like you're basically, that would be an interesting thought. Like you get to roll for how many hit points you get. Oh shoot, it's an ad. Dang it. This is what you get for not paying attention. Alright, enjoy Addy for a second. I will be back. Oh. Alright. Alright. I'm back. Perfect timing. Hello, hello. Welcome back. No. Boop. Let me see how bad it was. Okay. So, welcome back from the ad break. What happened was, as I did not realize, on the ad break, what I was pointing out was that if you allowed players to do edge runners, to roll, say, as edge runner or street rat, and then tweak it, well, especially edge runner, I bet street rat all adds up to the same number at the end, but edge runner doesn't, which means that if you did that, and then let people swap stats, you'd essentially be buying, like, point buy, but you get to roll for the number of points, sorta. It's an intriguing thought, but we're gonna leave them as is. Skills, yes. Alright. Stat skill comes next. Okay. Skills also when a character knows how to do because they're training. Have spent time learning and mastering the intricacies of this knowledge from either a teacher, a book, or a long, arduous montage sequence typically found in action or kung fu movies. Yep. This is where you play the, America World Police. I remember this. We watched it. Basically, yeah. You play the world, not Captain America, but it's essentially about an actor, highly skilled linguist actor who trains as a spy and has to save, outact Alec Baldwin to train, to save the day from Kim Jong ill because this was before he died. It came out before he died, so he was the, basically, he got a couple innocents killed by false knowledge. Anyway, he went through a training montage, um, and they put a montage song in. You need a montage. They they wrote a song, like a catchy rock beat type song that was about training montages in to do the montage too. It was fun. I think it's probably copyrighted though. So we're not gonna play it on Twitch, but link to stats. Okay, so each skill is linked to a stat that represents natural ability. Some people are just have to be better at doing learning things than other people around them. So when you perform a skill check, you'll add the stat that is linked to the particular skill to get a total aptitude at performing an action based on that performing skill, also in a skill base. Some skills are harder to learn than others. More teaching, bigger books to read, more arduous training. Montages, and this reflected the cost to buy these skills will make this skill has a higher cost description. The skill list below makes back with times 2. It takes twice as many skill points. Any skill make this way costs twice the number of points to buy, 2 points per 1 level. 9 skill categories. Got awareness skills, body skills, control skills, education skills, fighting skills, performance skills, ranged weapons skills, social skills, and technique skills. I started out making false IDs for edge runners and street rats. 4 years later, I'm making bioweapons for the highest bidder. Just goes to show that it's never too late to pick up a hobby. Oh, wow. Okay. So they have a list of all the skills. How do I get my skills? Okay, buying skills, basic skills. Method 1. Okay, so street rat. The street rat, all skills are predetermined from the start. A street rat character you have already provided you with skills and level skills for basic skills, plus statistic basic professional skills you need to perform your character's chosen roles. Just find the role in the table below and copy the number next to the skills to the proper place character sheet. Don't forget the 4 levels of language you get based on cultural origins. So you get 4 levels of language. You get certain language skills based on origin. So that's method 1 is street rat. Then we got for the templates. Edge runner, fast and dirty. So this is what we're doing. We're kind of, but the big difference is that your skills and roles are predetermined. Level each skills are up to you. There are a few rules though. Edge runners get 86 skill points to be distributed between your character skills to raise the totals up. These points may not be applied anywhere else. No skill can be higher than 6 or lower than 2. Okay. Following skills must all be at least level 2. Athletics, brawling, concentration, conversation, education, evasion, first aid, human perception, language, street slang, local expert, your home, perception, persuasion, and stealth. Skills marked with 2x cost 2 skill points, increased level by 1. Other skills, 1 point, increased level by 1. Don't forget the 4 level language you get free based on cultural organs. Determine edge runner skills. Find your role on the tables below, then divide your 86 skill points between skills listed for that type. Remember that skills will be no higher than 6 or lower than 2. You notice that each role has 20 skills allotted to it. Start by dividing your 86 points by 20 to get a rough 4 points per skill, and then have 6 extra points left over, and then you can tweak as needed. Okay, let's start with Rocker Boy skills. So, it'd be very helpful if we could copy-paste them. I don't think that's going to be a vibe, so here's what we're going to do. Athletics, brawling, concentration. That's concentration, right? Okay. And then we'll see what they do and go from there. Alright, so Rocker Boy skills. Athletics, brawling. I have to type them manually. Skills. Okay. Because they're athletics. Athletics, brawling. Concentration. Education. No, conversation, education. Conversation. Education. Right. We're not doing a full 4. Let me bump this up so I can see better. Evasion, first aid, human perception, evasion, first aid. Aid. Human perception. Human perception. Let's see. Whoa, okay. So that is not where we want to be. 40. Okay, I see. So Tales from the Street is 43. That's the whole character creation section. So let's go to 49. Cultural. Okay, so Enemies, tragic love stories, role-based life paths. Okay, yeah. Would you work alone? Okay, what kind of tech do you use? Okay, but this is all the meta tech. This is the life role-specific life paths for everyone. Fitted for the future. Statistics. We got our statistics. Oh, 70. Oh, I see. So life path takes up like 30 pages, which makes sense, I guess. Humanity. Okay. What are skills? Links to stats. And then we tell what. Okay, so do they say what stat in here? First aid, human language, street slang. Okay, language, street slang. Which street slang. Wonder if you can get 2 and 2 for language. It says 4 points of language from your. I wonder if you could do it 2 and 2. Local expert. Of Night City. Local expert. Which part of Night City you're in, I guess. Okay, wait, we're going to zoom in again. Perception, persuasion, always good ones. Persuasion, perception. Um, um, Professional skills. Um, uh, Composition. Perception, persuasion, stealth. Ooh, stealth. We get stealth as a skill. Sneaky sneak. We get sneaky sneak skills. Stealth. Composition, handgun. Ooh, we get handgun skills. We could shoot stuff. Handgun. Um, uh, Bum. Melee weapon, personal grooming. I feel like it's not gonna be for basic stuff like taking a shower. It's gonna be for how do you do your hair. How do you do your hair? Like, how much hair do you use? Do you know how to use the right perfume so it like smells good but not like overpowering? Do you know exactly how much do you put on? Do you know how to match your earrings to your other? Do you know how to make jewelry sets that go but don't match because matches a lot? Like, do you know how to tie knots in a tie? Do you know how to do tie knots like fancy ones, not just the basic loop? Do matching your belt to your shoes? This is important. This is important. Stuff like that. Like how to little style traits that make you presentable in public. Um, how to get your pocket square to do the fanny funky. You know, how to tuck the pocket square so it looks the best. Stuff like that. Basics. Um, how to do perm curls, or how to get your lipstick not to smudge. That is a big one. Stuff like that, I think, is what you do for personal grooming, and that is a useful skill set in if everything's based on play instrument, choose one. Probably have. So we'll give her an instrument, but we'll give her like 2 in something like the recorder, or the electronic keyboard. Actually, like she can rock a synthesizer. Ooh, that's a thought. Maybe we'll give her 3 points in like basic synth beats, because that's her vibe is editing. She probably does like basic scores, intro music, something like that. Catchy little, plays it. Play instrument. Streetwise, wardrobe and style is 4. Um, so there's probably a lot of overlap between personal grooming and wardrobe and style. Wardrobe and style is probably like clothing. Personal grooming is about like uh, hair, makeup, jewelry, stuff like that. Um, yeah, it's basically how to do your hair and um, hair, perfume, stuff like that. It's not quite clothes, but still part of the vibe. Yes. Okay. So all right. So we get a bunch of stuff, and then I have to do 2 for at least 2 for each. Hang on. So let me get language, 4 levels of language. I'm gonna give her language. I'm gonna give her Afrikaans, and then has 2 A's, I believe. Um, it's a Dutch. Yeah, okay, we're giving her Afrikaans and. Oh no, 2 A's. It's 1 A for the start, 2 A's in the middle. Okay. Yeah, we're giving her this one, and there's not a K in there. K's here. Okay. 2 F's or 1 F? This is learning language. This is language 101 with 1 F. Okay. 1 F. Alright. 1 F, 2 A's in the middle. Okay. Yes. A lot of cognates with English, but not quite. Well, it has as many cognates with English as Dutch does, which is to say quite a bit. As it were. Okay. 1 F's, 2 A's in the bed. Okay. But it's 4 points, so I'm gonna split it. I'm gonna split this. Yeah, I'm gonna split 3 and 1, maybe? So, okay, so you get 4 points of language proficiency for your cultural origins. Not just give her 4 points and like 4 levels of language proficiency. Yeah, I'll give her 3 in Afrikaans, and street slang is 2. Yeah, so I'll give her 3 in Afrikaans and 1 in Zulu. Yeah, okay. Street slang 3, 1, and that's the template. So in okay, so that's for edge runners. That's just street rat. Edge runners means okay, so that's the fun. Okay, so edge runner, fast nerdy skills. So you get order of the style. Okay, so that's for the street rat. Well, okay, what street rat was this one? Hang on. That's for Rocker Boy. That's the Rocker Boy Street Rat variant. Gives you 2 in Street Sling. Okay, so that gives us an idea. Okay, so Edge Runner, you get all of these, and you still get the 4 levels of language. Determine your Edge Runner skills. Find the roll tables below. Then divide 86 skill points. 20 skills to add to it. Start by dividing. That'll give you roughly average of 4 with 6 left over. So we're gonna put. I'm gonna put 4. I'm gonna start with that. We're gonna start with 4 in each, and then. 4 in each, and then we're gonna put 4 in each. Perception, persuasion, stealth, composition, and then we'll see what some of these do. Mail weapon, personal grooming is with 6 left over. So then plus 6, streetwise 4, planchment is 4, 4, and then we get 6 left over, so we can do bump up this by 2. Evasion, first persuasion, streetwise by 2, and human perception by 2. Okay, then let me see what we would get for this is Rocker Boy. So the reason I'm going up to here for like it just suggestions of what might be. What does composition do? Even let me look. Comp technique skills, social skills. All right, and they also say what we should probably mark what fighting skills, body skills, comp versus torture drugs, pilot drive like control, concentration, conceal awareness, concentration, control skills. It's one of these education skills, accounting, composition, skill of personal. Oh, writing song, story, articles. Okay, composition is like writing stuff. That would be also writing a script. So because she's behind the scenes. We're putting that one up to, okay. So if we put street slang down to 3, we can put composition up to 5. Melee weapon down to 3, composition up to 6. Yeah, and then we can do instrument, play instrument down to 3, but when any composition up to 7. And I think 8 is the max, right? Street Rat is templates. Edge Runner gets 86. Okay, but you have to choose the skills. Okay, so and none of our skills are ×2, so that's pretty cool. Handgun, melee weapon, personal grooming. I'm gonna take 1 out of melee and put it in handgun. We already took 1 out of melee. 1 out of brawling. I'm gonna take 1 out of brawling and put it in handgun. Athletics also goes down to 3, and we can put 1 in, I don't know, first aid. Street slang, language 1. 3. Human perception is human perception. What's the difference between human perception and regular perception? Stealth is 2. Okay, so stealth is down to 2. I see. Okay, so stealth is considered lower. Okay, well, let's knock a point out of stealth and put it in human perception. 7. We'll knock a point down on education. Has to be high because I'm putting a melee weapon down to, what is media? 6. Okay, high melee. Streetwise, word open style, local expert, perception, persuasion, stealth. Okay, so what? They have this low. Concentration, conversations. Interesting. Alright, we'll bring that one down to 3 then. I don't know. I'm kind of basing it a little bit on their suggestion and bring that to local expert, perception, persuasion. Yeah, bring street slang up to 4. Reason theory being, like, playing with words is... Yes, I believe so. Let me actually look in what it says on human perception. Pickpocket, paramedic. Okay, yep. Social skills. Reading person's facial expression, body language to discern their emotional state and detect lies or deception. Yes. Kill for conversation, bribery, interrogation, persuasion, personal grooming. Streetwise. Probably a lower streetwise skill, honestly. Probably, yeah. I mean, that not that high. Like, not that good at streetwise. And then we can put it put the persuasion up to 7. Evasion, first aid is they're all okay. So for the example, the template ones, which we're doing fast and dirty, which means we get to pick how high this stuff is. Puts it high. Brawling is high and athletics is low, but basically just is all local expert is personal grooming, local expert or average, and then you have and word and style, and then everything else is either higher or lower, which is interesting. Education. All right, we'll knock educate. I'm gonna keep education certainly high because that was a big part of why they did education is 2, evasion is 6, conversation. All right, first aid. I don't think we need first aid that high. If we're gonna have a Meditech, we can go first aid can go down from first aid. Yeah, we can do a first aid down to 4, and then put conversation up to. What do we want to put up? I think. What's my grooming? Up to 5? No, because she's behind the scenes anyway, so that would be. And then put human perception up 1. Yeah, human perception is up to 8. That is maximum. Yeah, street rat is templates. Then no skill, I mean, higher than 6 or lower than 2. Okay, so we need to, this goes down to 6, and then we can put, I guess a point in evasion and a point in stealth. And then this has to go down to 6, and then we can put a point in handgun, and then composition goes down to 6, and we can put a point in wardrobe and style, and then do we have anything higher than 6? No. Okay. So, I think that's a pretty good spread. Yeah, I think for the Streetwear templates, they did all 2s and 4s. 2, 4, and 6. They didn't do any 3s or 5s, which I think is interesting. Like, they all did even... I guess it made the math easier. But yeah. Evasion. I'm going to put evasion as 4 and education as 5. I'm giving them all 5 in education, because these guys were, like, this highly, an internship program. So I'm going to give them all education of 5. These guys are classically educated. All of them. I'm giving them, all of them, education in 5. I think this is a good set for now. We'll see how it plays, but I think this is a good starting point, for that. Okay, so, do that. Yeah, let's do it. That's our skill set. Yeah. Okay, so there's our skill set. I'll show you the skill set. Hang on. This is our skill set. Athletics, brawling, or lightly lower. Yeah, athletics and brawling. Rockabye skills, athletics, brawling, and then I'm looking for edge runner for higher athletics and brawling. What is concentration? What is concentration? Conversation. Problem is it's helpful if you're picking skills that they're, but not if you're trying to look up what the basic skills do. Language, melee, gamble, deduction, brawling. Wilderness survival, we don't have any of. Composition. Composition. Concentration is... Oh, I should probably write down what... Concentration. Focus and mental control. Memory, recall, like recalling stuff under pressure. Okay, athletics. I'm going to actually note down what stat each of these uses, because that is a useful one to do. So athletics is up here in awareness. Okay, concentration is will. We have concentration. Yes, we have concentration. So concentration is will. I don't know what I just clicked. Yeah, okay, that is very useful. Okay. I don't know. I have this skill, concentration is will. I'm trying to find out which perception is int. Okay, we have that. So let's go here. We don't have tracking. So we have, perception is int. Hang on. I'm putting down, I'm doing stats for, a rocker boy in, this is what I have so far for my stats for my rocker boy. I'm putting down what they use. I can't do anything higher than 6 in anything, but this is basically what I've got for now. Okay, body skills. Athletics is based on dex. Okay, athletics. The example had higher in brawling and athletics. I've put them a little lower. Brawling is... oh, okay. Not a body skill. Okay, contortionist, dance, endurance, resist strikes, torture. We don't have any of that. We have stealth, though, is dex. Okay. Also based on dex, we have stealth. I have to... they're in different sections, so I have to put... But yeah, if you have any thoughts on this as... Composition meaning songwriting, essentially. Yeah, but I mean, do you think this is good? Would you tweak any of these stats if you could? Yeah, would you tweak any of those stats? This is the maximum number of points, but if you think maybe less stealth, more persuasion. Well, I can't do more persuasion, but less stealth, more melee weapon might work. I don't know. Possibly, but also, in fairness, it's meant to be as part of a party, and they'll probably have a solo. I don't know the exact party composition because I'm making one of each and letting the table full of party members choose. But I'm guessing they'll have one hopefully they'll have one who does like a solo or something who can fight. If not, they're just gonna have to avoid fistfights. Brawling. Okay, wait. Constant converse. What is it? In any of these? Stealth being Dex. Um. Um. That's true. Okay. 1 minute we're gonna get an ad break, so I'm gonna keep going with this while the ad play. I think. I got water. If you guys need water or snacks, ad break is time to get them. I'm just gonna be going through and doing these. Perception. Okay, I didn't. Athletics. Stealth. Okay, control skills. We don't have any of those. Accounting, animal handling, bureaucracy, business. No, we don't have any of those. Composition. Intelligence is that one. So comp is composition. Is int. Synthesizer. Yeah, composing on the synthesizer. That is her business, bureaucracy, criminology, photography, deduction, education, int. Okay, education is int. Instrument skill. That's true, although she doesn't play an instrument as her, like, professional art form. That's why I kept that low. Because, although she does play as the intro, but, like, her, basically, I got performance art and on the data pools as the two random roles for what her art form is, and I'm like, oh, she does YouTube shorts. And I'm like, yes, she does little skits in the data pools, which means, yeah, performance art in the data pools is just YouTube shorts. But she does play the synthesizer, can do some synth. I did give her a little bit more on the synth than bare minimum. I mean, the other question is we have to lower something else to do that, and I don't know what I would lower. Like streetwise maybe. Um, human first aid. Well, having someone with first aid skills is useful. So I mean, depends if no one takes the Meditech. Then having someone with some first aid skills would be helpful. Maybe. That's a thought, though. I could knock her up one. Language is int, so all of the language is int. Language, education. Gambling is probably like stuff like card counting, I'm guessing. And risk assessment. Um, yep, okay. Oop. Dex, so is evasion. Brawling is. Melee is also Dex. Empathy. Also, Okay. Yep. Um, Hi. Do I do? Hello, hello. I do not have tea, but I do have water. That yes, I have water, and we should be back from the ad break, right? Should be back from the ad break. Yes, but I have water. With a little bit of flavoring. I suppose I could have made a cup of tea as well. But I was running late because I was making pickles. Curiously, I was making pickles. So, um, quick pickles, nothing fancy, but um, yeah, I was busy doing that. Um, so I have no tea, unfortunately. Um, but there's that. Persuasion, personal. Okay, I'm doing Cyberpunk Red character creation. And I am figuring out what goes with what. What's cool? Yeah, Streetwise is also cool. Which stat goes with what? Um, Also cool. Which stat goes with what? Um, or which skill goes with which stat? Um, Basic tech, cyber tech, demolitions, electronics, first aid is tech. Okay, that tracks, I guess. Especially in a cyber tech or cyberpunk world. But yes, Cyberpunk Red. This is a TTRPG, Cyberpunk Red, and I am using my I'm making not that one. Oh, there we go. I'm using my an edge runner, which is kind of variant. I'm making 10 because there are 10 different roles. Pre-gens, which means I need to actually get on that and start early. The game is in October. It's a con game I'm running in October. So, you get so I'm working on that. And so yay. But yes, this is the skill list for our rocker boy. She is I rolled randomly for placement. I was gonna say Europe, and then I was like, you know what, let's roll, see what we get. I got sub-Saharan Africa, and I am as a white guy, I'm like a little nervous about like writing character from there, but also I don't want to like say, oh, you can't write characters who aren't you, because that's you want to be able to have diversity in the world, and yeah, there's plenty of people. So I did South Africa as kind of like a little cop out because I feel more confident with that being also an ex living in an ex British colony. So mm, and knowing a little more about the history than other sub-Saharan African countries. So Uh, initially I had her from South Africa. I might change that. I might either just take out the half Afrikaans, half Zulu thing and just, um, I might give bonuses and just 50-50 Afrikaans. But basically what I'm doing is, giving them, like, I might, I could strip out the ethnic background to let people project, or I could just say they're all from South Africa and speak Afrikaans, and then you can figure out if what kind of background they might have within that framework if you want to. That might be an option, because that's also an option. Is South Africa is more metropolitan, and a lot of my players are probably gonna be white guys, so I want to be like often like a cop out of like, you know what I mean. Um, but yeah, that's kind of why I picked South Africa, is because I rolled randomly and got Sub-Saharan Africa and was like, well, you know what? Let's baby steps. Let's try it. So I've been working with this rocker boy. She's I did roll randomly for gender. And she, I mean, I guess the players could absolutely change that. So I guess that might not be wise to give the characters like super canonical genders because, you know, I'm not going to say the players can't swap the genders of their character around or go with anything, you know. Yeah, couldn't swap the gender of characters. So maybe I'll like suggest a gender and just say like, well, I wrote her up as this, but you can do it different if you want. And uh, yeah, that's it. Basically, cool. But empathy. Okay, got all the skills. Hey, that's pretty cool. This is gonna go slightly faster for the other characters, I think, because I kind of know what I'm doing ish. But okay, so we got our skills. Buying skills. Okay. Um, Street Rat templates. Then you got Edge Runners, which is what we're doing, which is fast and dirty, which means you don't get to pick the skills, but you get to pick how high each of them is. And so that's our thing with that. We got our skills. What else we got? And then complete package how to calculate, do math. Um, um, Weapons. Okay. With a few cops, with only a few cops in the street and a lot of heavily armed and armored miscreants roaming about, just hitching to reduce you to saleable parts. Don't worry that everyone you meet is probably packing. The trick is to make sure you're carrying more than they are, and that you know enough about it how to use it so they don't take it away from you. Melee weapons is swords, axes, clubs, hammers, etc. Ranged weapons, things that are fired, shot, or thrown, and then exotic weapons, specialized and don't fit. Okay, so melee weapons are traditional, something you can hold and put down, or implanted directly into your body. Cyberware. Known on the street as cyber weapons, implanted weapons are usually a variant or ranged melee weapons. Some oddities like infamous Cyber Snake are, on the whole, only loosely classified as melee weapons, if at all. These have their own specialized uses, so we'll be talking about them more in the cyberware on page 110. Note that only the most basic, almost generic class of each weapon. We'll look at specific weapons, models, and brands in the night market page. So this is just basics. Melee weapons, example, number of hands required, one-handed or two-handed. Or, I guess you could have three-handed weapons in, yeah, that's true. So it's kind of allows the player's flexibility to choose more like a spattering of ethnic backgrounds while having them all be from the same. A big part of the kind of plot is that all these guys were basically they were part of a big corpo, like a satellite office in South Africa that had a conglomerate subdivision conglomerate. I'm not big on corporate structure, but they were basically part of like a corporation, like linked a whatever the opposite of parent company is, subsidiary company, working at a plant there. It got bombed during the one of the corporate wars, and anyone aged 19 to 25 who had one or more parent die or be permanently disabled was able to, yeah, exactly, with a cyber arm. If yeah, cyber arms are. I was thinking if you had a three-handed, you could wield something huge if you used the third cyber arm to like really get into it. You'd have to balance which side cyber arm you used. I don't think you could do four. I don't know if you could do a four-handed, but you could use a third hand. Although, I guess it depends on the technique of which hand from which side you put where, and if you stack them differently. That is a three-handed sword work is especially if you. Yeah. Ooh, that's a thought. If you come from a group of aliens with four arms, or a world with cyberpunk where implanting extra arms is a viable option, is there like whole schools of one, two, three, or three-handed sword work, or four-handed? Is there like different schools that have different numbers of hands that are more than just one-handed or two-handed? Or can you do tri-wielding? Is that an option? Or is like dual wielding plus a main? Do you do main one and two arms and then two sidearm pieces to kind of do quad wield, like dual wielding, but like trio wielding? Is that like an option? I think Cyberpunk you can get extra arms. I'm pretty sure you can get backup sets, but rather than just replace your flesh arms with better ones, better. Yeah, well, no, I mean cyber arms are pretty awesome. But my point is, yeah, this is something worth noting. That is a put a pin in that for future world building when I'm not trying to make characters specifically. Okay, I'm on the weapons section. Oh, right. Let me bop this down so you can see what we're doing here. Melee weapons. Rate of fire. Gonna be concealed. Cost. The euro, how much euro? How many euro bucks? Which I guess euros. Like I guess that's sort of like a mush between the dollar and the euro. Basically, a cyberpunk. The backstory for cyberpunk was, um, yep, that's the problem is trying to have the brain focus. So you know, I guess just having basic shields or something in the lower two arms. Like create a shield, like link them in a shield wall around your abdomen and don't let go. That doesn't require a lot of extra processing power in terms of brain, but is a good extra bonk protection. Um, shield bashes might be interesting with that. Okay, but yes, that is that. But what I was gonna say was, I had a whole point about Time of the Red, Eurobucks. Basically, the European Union formed 30 years early to combat the Cold War, and then developed better space tech to kind of they developed mass drivers, and then so they had America and the Soviet Union arming with nukes, and then Europe was like, sit your ass down, we got mass drivers, cut it out with the nuke shit or we will get. And then so that calmed the Cold War down a little bit, and then there was just better tech because that version of history had better tech, I guess. And then that led to a lot of social changes and dynamic social changes that trickled down through history to give us cyberpunk, essentially. But yeah, that's the loose backstory for that. So, 50 euro bucks. Knife, rough. So you're paying 50 euro bucks for a medium melee, a combat knife, or tomahawk. I'm guessing they mean tomahawk like the old school mini axe, traditionally used by natives to cut scalps off. I think as part of. I don't know if that's is that was just a. That's definitely very much a broad generalization that probably has roots in stereotypes if it was actually a thing at all. But yes, tomahawk was like when they say tomahawk, they probably mean like the mini axe. Like it's similar to an axe. I'm sure there's a lot of technical differences of whether it's technically an axe or not. Based and it's probably a lot of that is cultural about who gets to decide what constitutes an axe and all that jazz. Yes, well, that's true, but I mean, your backup would just as simply be a knife, right? I mean, unless you're if you're out on the American, well, I believe tomahawks was like an Iroquois thing, so East Coast. But, um, yeah, it's a was probably adapted by a as a backup weapon by settler types who, um, yes, is definitely a weapon. True, but battle axes are also weapons and are called axes. So weapon axe versus tool axe versus are different, differently made, but they're both called axes. So, but yeah, tomahawk is in the small hand weapon, not tomahawk is in the airplane missile thing that got named after that by Americans. Very heavy melee weapons. Chainsaw. Oh, you could wield a chainsaw. Uh, Naginata is yes. A lead pipe. Ooh. Baseball. Yeah, crowbar. Crowbar is freaking be cool. Humans have been picking up rocks since dawn of time, and there are probably a billion types of sharp, pointy things out there. We suggest that you don't really know where the bronze Egyptian Khopesh you just took off the body of that Euro Solo fits in. Ask Game Master to make the call. We'd say heavy melee weapons ourselves. Yeah, this is just broad categories, and then, yes. Yep. Yeah, basically, you can get whatever you can get your little hands on to smash and kill with is. Yeah, humans have been inventing that. Yeah, but also, what was it? The 2001: A Space Oddity. From the first throw a bone club at someone's like primitive hominids using a club to like a rock to smash in the skull of a rival to all the way up to nuclear weapons platforms. One jump, humans and weapons. It's a basic thing. Okay. But for the future, ranged weapons, shoot guns, lasers are rare, gyro jets, handheld crossbows that idiots road warriors gangs like to wave around. Something comes out of it, travels a distance, and causes damage at the end of the trajectory. It's a ranged weapon. Ranged weapons are generally linked to the reflex stat. When buying ranged weapons, it's important to keep in mind that all weapons are effective at different ranges. An assault rifle is great for long-range shots and mid-range firefights, but it can be unwieldy in tight quarters and close quarters gunfights. That's what it is with the knife to the gunfight thing is, oh yeah, I'm sure if you decided that you wanted to watch that. But okay. It is 3:18. I just have to keep an eye on that because okay, let's see about ad breaks. The reason I have to keep an eye on that is because 21 feet rule. Oh, that's the effective range. That's how far away you have to be before a gun becomes much more effective than a knife, if I recall correctly. But yeah, if you are in tight quarters, it's not who has a gun and who has a knife, but who knows the area better. Okay, it is getting. Sorry, I just have to be reminded of everyone that I do have a day job, and I spent more time on this than I thought because we got distracted about weapons and. Okay, ranged weapons. The ranged weapons is weapon type, skill, weapon skill. What skill would you use? Handgun stat damage, damage, rate of fire, number of hands required. Do you need a second hand to stabilize, or can you wield it one-handed? Can be concealed. I would say you might get an accuracy bonus if you can point a gun like a basic 9mm Glock with one hand, but it two hands give you better aim, if I recall correctly. Can be concealed, alt fire modes, and yes, also what kind of ammunition. Medium pistol, heavy pistol, very heavy pistol, handgun. Okay, so all handguns. SMG is okay, and oh, the magazine 12 and medium pistol. Okay, yeah, they specify what kind of ammo it uses. All right, medium, heavy. All right, so they got heavy shotgun, assault rifle, bow and arrows. Basic ammunition. The standard ammunition weapon has no special features. Comes in the bullet, shotgun shell, and arrow. Grenades and rockets do not come in basic and must be bought with the night market section based on type. Exotic weapons. Lots of brands, description and data. Cost. No GMs. Starting characters able to buy anything they have the funds to purchase, but they're not allowed to pool their starting money together. We recommend that you don't give your players additional starting funds. Allowing players to access luxury or higher price category items at character generation could break the game. But if you want to attend your own funeral, we've included in the chart below. In gameplay, exotic weapons are rare and expensive. In the chart below. They're difficult to find at night markets without a friendly fixer, and carrying one can really make a statement. If you walk into a Totentans with a constitutional arms hurricane assault weapon slung over your shoulder, people will take notice, for better or worse. Hurricane assault weapon, dart gun, flamethrower, mono. Okay, microwaver. That like does mini EMPs. That's helpful. Okay, then you got armor, because not only it's yes, armor purchased individually. And you got leathers, Kevlar, light armor jack, bodysuit, medium armor jack, flak, metal gear. Pothole race. Yep. Yeah. It'll stop almost anything, but you cannot, like, move. Alright, bulletproof shield. Polycarbonate shield. Okay, don't be an idiot. Match armor to your situation. If you're pulling a bodyguard job at a charity ball for an exec, you'll just embarrass yourself and your employer if you show up in full riot gear. Sure, I've got a set of flak that makes me look like I'm going to war, but I've also picked up a Duraweave fiber business suit from Tekanaka. Pre-war tech. Makes me look like I belong in a corporate HQ, but can stop a pistol fire dead. Alright, how to get your stuff. Edge runners. So basically they just give you a list of stuff you could probably get. And, so you pre-rat, okay. Okay. Weapons and armor, okay. Buy all of it and you get, yes. So there's that, and then outfit, which is basically kit. Okay, I have day job. So, we are probably going to end the stream here, but it was fun having all of you in chat, those few of you who showed up. I do appreciate it. Okay, we had 6 minutes, so before the ad break runs, so I'm going to Not something to do more ads because I also have to go to work and all that jazz. So, this is longer than I want to spend on stream, but also I like, I like talking to hang out and going over Cyberpunk stuff. So, cool. We're working on our rocker boy. She's getting there. Basically, we're just left to kit her out with some basic weapons and go from there. Okay, so I might just grab the template and call it even. But we'll see. Point being, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. If you want to, Discord. You want to go hang out on the Discord? Very cool. Also, if you want to talk, post, hey, I had an idea. If you want to go on the Discord and chat about cyberpunk stuff, that's cool too. We could set up a cyberpunk room if people are interested, but only if you tell me on the Discord that you're interested. If you are feeling particularly over wealthy and you want to throw stuff, there's Ko-Fi, and also just throw bits at us. Bits are fun. And you can get any of the channel points rewards for bits if you want, so, in case you want to try anything with that. Okay. So there's that. Basically, you guys are awesome. Channel points, bits. Oh, right. So, I am going to sign off. Take care of yourselves. What else? Oh, yeah, tomorrow is Greyhawk Day, so we'll do Greyhawk. Thursday, we may or may not do more, Cyberpunk. Either more Cyberpunk, or maybe we'll do something like Gantiford or Random Search, depending on how we're feeling. I might put up a poll in the Discord, see if anyone cares. Okay, Cyberpunk. Shenanigans. Okay, shenanigans are fun. Let's do that. Yeah, I've been Lee, your beloved host. Same bat time, same bat place tomorrow, so, 1:45. I'm trying to start by 1:30, but that never happens. So 1:45 to 2, at somewhere in there, we are going live with Greyhawk. Pop in, say hi. We're doing Greyhawk Wiki editing. That's about it. Thank you all. Okay, no more of this nonsense. Let's raid somebody. So you're raiding, we ask. Let's see. Oh, I promised, what's her face, that we would raid if she's still on. So if she is still on, we are, Shy is on. No, we're not raiding Shy. We're raiding Friend. Yes, she is. Elkintar, she's doing probably Street Fighter. Yes. Alpha 3. Alright, she's doing Street Fighter nonsense. It's fun. She's cool. Friend shaped, doing Street Fighter. Come hang out with us. We'll, pop in, say hi. Yeah. Doesn't have a lot of viewers anyway, yes. So pop in, say hi. Let's go. Just come in and say hi. You can use the little orange emotes, when you get there to do the raid. They look... It's hard to say that they say raid. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, come on in. Boom. Let's do it.